नमस्कार, रेड टेलिभिजन हेरेर बस्नुहुने तपाईं सम्पूर्णलाई कार्यक्रम द इन्स्पायरिङ स्टोरिजमा स्वागत गर्न चाहन्छु। म ममिता भण्डारी। कार्यक्रम इन्स्पायरिङ स्टोरिजमा हामीले विभिन्न क्षेत्रमा काम गरिरहनुभएका विभिन्न इन्स्पिरेसनल पर्सनालिटीहरूसँग उहाँहरूको जीवनको सक्सेस अनि भोगाई, सफलता, अनुभव र सिकाइका बारेमा कुराकानी गर्ने गर्दछौँ। र आज पनि हामीसँग एकजना त्यस्तै व्यक्तित्व हुनुहुन्छ। आउनुहोस् उहाँको बारेमा हेरौँ यो छोटो इन्ट्रोडक्सन भिडियो।
लैङ्गिक समानताको मुद्दा संसारभर उठिरहेको विषय हो। लिङ्गका आधारमा हुने यो विभेदबाट संसारका सबल र विकसित मानिने मुलुकहरू पनि बच्न सकेका छैनन्। यस विषयमा विभिन्न देशका युवाहरूले आफ्नै किसिमले आवाज उठाउँदै आइरहेका छन्। यस्तै युवाहरूमध्ये एक हुनुहुन्छ रिजवे आर्फिन। बङ्गलादेशी नागरिक रिजवे अवेरनेस 360 नामक संस्थाका संस्थापक र सह अध्यक्ष हुनुहुन्छ। विश्वस्तरीय रूपमा 52वटा देशमा लैङ्गिक समानताका मुद्दाहरूमा काम गर्ने अवेरनेस 360 का संस्थापक रिजवे सामुदायिक विकासमा काम गर्ने एक सामाजिक कार्यकर्ता र अभियन्ताका रूपमा परिचित हुनुहुन्छ। समाज र विश्वमा नै आफ्नो कामबाट प्रभाव छोड्न सफल रिजवेको नाम एसियाका 30 जना प्रभावशाली व्यक्तिहरू फोर्ब्स 30 अन्डर 30 मा पनि समावेश छ। आफ्नै सामाजिक कार्यले सबै सकारात्मक प्रभाव पार्न सफल हुनुभएका रिजवे बेलायतमा दिइने डायना अवार्डबाट पनि सम्मानित हुनुहुन्छ। संयुक्त राष्ट्रको ग्लोबल कम्प्याक्टमा लक्षित लैङ्गिक समानता सल्लाहकारको रूपमा समेत काम गर्दै आउनुभएका उहाँले प्रतिष्ठित क्वीन्स कमनवेल्थ निबन्ध प्रतियोगिता 2020 र 2021 को लागि न्यायाधीशको भूमिका समेत निर्वाह गर्नुभएको छ। युनिभर्सिटी पुत्र मलेसियामा हल्ट प्राइजका संस्थापक समेत रहनुभएका रिजवेले 1 दर्जन भन्दा बढी बङ्गलादेशी राष्ट्रिय अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय पुरस्कारहरू पनि पाउनु भएको छ। सामाजिक कार्यहरू कहिल्यै पनि देशका सिमानामा बाँधिँदैनन्। कुनै पनि एक देशका समस्या भविष्यमा पुरै विश्वकै समस्या बन्न सक्दछ भन्ने राम्रो ज्ञान भएका रिजवे कुनै पनि काम निस्वार्थ भावनाले गरियो भने त्यसको सकारात्मक परिवर्तन संसारभर नै पार्न सकिन्छ भन्ने कुराको उदाहरण हुनुहुन्छ।
In today's episode we have a very special guest from Bangladesh. Please allow me to welcome him on the show. Namaskar, Rijve Arefin. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
First of all, congratulations for reaching at the list of Forbes under 30. So, can you express your feeling? So, how is the feeling when you know about your name is listed in under 30 by Forbes?
I was definitely surprised because I did not expect that. I had no idea about who nominated me for this. And when I saw my name on the news and all over the place, and I got very surprised. And at the same time, it kind of gave us our work value, credibility that whatever we were doing, it is impactful, and it was making impact. So I was extremely happy when I got to know that my name is listed there.
So do you think that this honor increase your responsibilities?
Absolutely. Previously, when we were working in different aspects in the community, and for different marginalized communities, we did not know how much impact we are making in the process, right? So when we saw our name on the Forbes list, this is when we realized it's very big, and we are making impact all across the world, especially in the global south. And it also proved how important our work is in the development space and in our communities, especially when we are trying to solving the pressing problems in the world.
Since you are working for Awareness 360, and what makes you to be the part of Awareness 360?
We started this initiative in 2014. I met my co-founder. She's also my best friend. So I met her when I was studying in an university in Bangladesh. So both of us, we were just doing social work under different international and national organizations. And when we met, we were sharing our, what we are passionate about and why we are doing social work and all of that. So when I saw that I found a like-minded person, and we were having this conversation at a burger joint, and we realized like how privileged we are because we had a lot of skill sets and a lot of transferable skills. So because of that, like we could do like social work and all of that. But there are other young people like us in our communities who didn't have that privilege to like get those skills. So this is how we thought of like coming up with a platform where people from all across the world can come together and like solve the pressing problems that we are facing in our communities. So you can say like just with like discussion at a burger joint, this huge global platform was born.
So what kind of activities 360 does?
So when we started initially in 2014, we only focused on water sanitation and hygiene. So when the organization was growing rapidly and a lot of other people joined from all across the world, we kind of noticed that in every community there are different kinds of problems, right? So maybe in Cameroon they're facing gender equality. In Zimbabwe they're facing quality education issues, and also in Bangladesh we were facing water sanitation and hygiene. So we kind of expanded our focused areas. So then we gradually adopted UN Sustainable Development Goals. So right now we are like all the 17 goals, we are focusing on them, but particularly quality education, gender equality, water sanitation and hygiene, environment. So these are like some of the focus areas that we have right now.
So what kind of difficulties you face during the establishing days in 360, and how can you establish these 360 in these different countries?
In the beginning, when like both of us are kids, when we wanted to like start this platform, we, if I be really honest with you, like we didn't get much support from a lot of people, because if you're like a younger person.
How old are you when you started?
So when I started it, I was I think 17 years old. And like a lot of people, they didn't take us seriously because they thought like these two young people, they're just like thinking something big, but it's not going to
Young
happen.
people, hot blood.
Yeah. So but then when we really started like making impact, we started doing community service work. We were doing different campaigns in different communities. This is when like people saw the impact that we are making. And so then like our supports, all the supports like coming in. And also another problem that we face, oftentimes the beneficiaries themselves, they don't understand the importance of this kind of campaigns happening, right? Because we work with sex workers community, we work with swaraj workers community, slum dwellers. So when we go up to them and we teach them the simple steps of hand washing or menstrual hygiene, to them it's not important, right? Because if they give you like 30 minutes of their time, they're losing their time to like earn money, right? Because they're like day laborers. So oftentimes we face this kind of issues. The beneficiaries themselves, they don't understand the importance of having this kind of discussions or this kind of campaigns. And also having the grants for this kind of campaigns, because usually when we plan to do like this kind of campaigns or workshops or like building toilets, it needs money, right? So also because of the pandemic, we were facing a lot of like monetary constraints and other constraints and burned out issues. This is another issue. Like our volunteers, since like they're working for free, oftentimes it gets a bit difficult for them to like stay concentrated or like focused on like certain workshops and all of that. So I would say like these are the challenges that we used to face, and also we are facing some of the challenges right now as well. But as we go towards the impact that we're making, like we do realize like how important our work is, and that's why like together, even though like we're facing a lot of challenges, we don't stop. We continue doing what we love to do.
So do you get any support for government or other organization, or you guys did it by yourself?
So in the beginning, we didn't get any support from any organization or like any governmental organization. like we did community fundraising. Also, like we put our money like from our pocket, like we from our pocket money and all of that. But as I mentioned, like when we started making impact and people saw that, like a lot of other people joined us. A lot of international organizations like UNDP, Global Changemakers, Global Citizen, they tried to help us. They collaborated with us. Also, U.S. State Department, they collaborated with us in a lot of events that we organize. So in the beginning, I would say it was a bit difficult, but right now, like we do have a broad, like supporters and partners. Yes.
So you are working in social field, and people used to think like campaigns and the small activities are not important for societies. So why you think campaign and these events are important for changing the society?
Um, countries in the global south, especially this region like Bangladesh, India, Nepal, uh, oftentimes like when I talk about older generation, they don't quite understand the value of social work, because if you don't earn money, to them you are not doing anything, right? But in the long run, like right now, my parents are super proud of myself, because they know that I'm making impact, I'm changing lives, and I'm also like changing the condition of the country. But in the beginning when I started it,
We can say thinking pattern of people.
yes, like in the beginning when I started it, my parents thought like whatever I'm doing, like it's not a work, it's not a real work. So yeah, but like it takes time, like for the older generation or the people who think that it's not real impact, like it takes time for them to understand. But it also, like when you get a lot of recognition, like this is the time like when they realize that you're making impact or you're doing something. But I think it's time that we realize the lives that we are changing through our work and the importance of it.
So you are working in UN gender equalities.
Yes.
So why you think gender equality is important, and why you choose only gender equalities, and why we need to work on gender equalities?
Okay.
Sense.
I did not only choose gender equality, but like my work with UNGC, like it's focused on gender equality. Like all the sustainable development goals, it's all like interlinked. So gender equality, or if I talk about quality education, these are like all related. So particularly I work for the corporate space, where we make sure that gender equality is at place, because when we talk about gender equality in certain corporation, we talk about like people who are working under the leadership team, but we don't make sure that on the leadership position the women participation is there, because like all the leadership positions it owns by male. So in every case, like we see that even in the media space, like in different countries, like we don't see that women participation there. So because of that, like growing up, like I saw this firsthand growing up in Bangladesh, countries like Bangladesh, like how women suffer in a lot of aspect of life. Like they're not getting the proper salaries, they're not getting the maternity leave. Also, when women work at home, they're just working for free, like they're not getting paid, right? So we like I personally feel that like I need to work for that, and also having male allies like me, like it's very important. Like women equality is not for only women, like it's for everyone in the community, in the society, right? So I felt that need, and also I felt that responsibility to be a gender equality advocate.
It's not only about the gender, it's about the equality.
Yes, it's about the equality, absolutely.
So many people think that especially in our country like Nepal, in your country like Bangladesh, and other people, there's so many problems for women, because our so-called stereotype thoughts used to drive them for think that they are less valued than men. So you are doing absolutely amazing job, since you are working in so many countries, and you have so many global networking. why we need to develop our networking and why international networking is important?
Uh, when we started our work in Bangladesh, we were not exposed to the global space, and we did not know the capacity that we have. We could like make, like if we could like impact 100 people in Bangladesh, we could make it double. Like if we make it a global platform. So we could do that by the power of networking. Like when we moved to Malaysia, like Shomi and I, my co-founder, so we were exposed to a lot of international people from all across the world. And when we started hanging out with them, we realized how similar we think. Our mindset is like super similar, and especially the problems that we share, countries from the global south, it's very similar. Like the sanitation problem that we face in Bangladesh, the sanitation problem people face in India, it's kind of similar. The culture is also similar. So we saw that opportunity, and we knew that having networking is like very important. And through networking, this Awareness 360, which we started locally, we went globally through networking. So it's very important. Like if you want to learn something. And also, like if you want to learn something from outside of your country and get those knowledge into your country, and like want to change lives in your country, like it's very important to like globalize your knowledge in that way.
So you were granted with this RCS fellow. What is about?
So I've been involved with Commonwealth Space for a very long time. It's been more than 7 years now. I was working with Commonwealth Student Association and like other initiatives as well. And Royal Commonwealth Society, it's an organization under Commonwealth. And they, because of my work, like they decided me to give me this honor. It's called Royal Commonwealth Fellow. So I'm a Royal Commonwealth Fellow, and they have given me this because of my work in the Commonwealth countries.
So what kind of changes you have been noticing since you have been working the WAS from so many years and in for some past years and today's time?
You mean what kind of positive change?
Yep.
Yeah, there are a lot of positive change happening right now because of the young people.
So what is the scenario in initial phase?
So when we started, like like we saw a lot of young people. They wanted to do something for their community, but they didn't have any platform. So because of that need, like we came up with Awareness 360. And right now, when we are changing, like trying to change our community for better, like it's taking time, but it's happening gradually. The change is happening, but I think like all the people from all aspects of the community should like work together. It's not should be only the young people. And also when we talk about the policy makers, on the policy making table, the young people should participate there actively, so that like the real change can happen. Because no matter what we do, like we need to change the policy first in order to like make the change happen.
So what do you think when you started, and what do you think in today's time about the change, about the difficulties?
If I talk about my organization, like when we started with like I think for the first workshop that we did, we taught about 60 school kids, and till date we have benefited over 1.1 million people across the world. So I would say the change is huge, and I personally, like I myself, I'm very proud of my team. I'm very proud of my work that we do, and the young people that I'm exposed to every day. I'm meeting new people, even like everyone is super inspiring, and I'm learning something new, and I'm incorporating those knowledge into my work every day. So yeah, I would say the change is huge, and also as the day passes by, the more impact is happening. So I'm very hopeful.
So how are you handling your team since you have been working in so many countries? There is so many global networks, so many people. So what you think, what we need to manage a good team or to result out the good result of teamwork?
Teamwork is the key, I would say. But since I'm working in a global space, and my team, they're in like more than 30 countries, and maintaining the time zone and everything. And since most of the times we're working virtually, it gets very difficult at times, because when you when you are at an office space, like a physical office, you see your colleagues, you talk to them. There's a physical interaction between your colleagues. But since we all are virtual, it gets a bit. There's a thing called Zoom fatigue. So when we have like a lot of Zoom meetings, like it gets a bit difficult. But since we work with the young crowd, they're like super energetic. So we are kind of lucky to have this energetic team of us. So there are challenges, but it's very fun at the same time, and I love facing challenges. So,
So, can you tell us about how you motivate your team when they are facing the difficulties from work or maybe their own personal life? So, as a leader, what we need to do to motivate our teammates?
that's a very good question. So we faced a lot of problems during the pandemic. Because what we do is like social work. So our work is to go up to different communities and work with them and talk to them, and they're like in-person element to our work, right? So during pandemic, we could not do that because everyone was stuck at home due to lockdown or due to the regulations, right? So a lot of our volunteers, they were burned out, and even our teammates, like they were burned out. So we couldn't find any proper solution, like how to deal with that particular issues. So what we started to do is like we came up with this Facebook Live thing, and almost every day we used to do like different activities through Facebook Live so that we can motivate our fellows, our volunteers, our teammates. So we used to teach them Latin dance, or like having this different discussions about different issues. We ran different sessions. Everything was open, like on Facebook Live. Everything was free for everyone. So when we started those, like we saw like people were getting motivated, and also often we don't talk about mental health, right? So we felt that a lot of people were facing a lot of difficulties, like they were getting depressed, they were having a lot of stress. So we hired someone. She's our in-house mental health expert. So we made sure that our members or our volunteers, they get some kind of mental health support. Also, as a leader, we need to prioritize our mental health as well, because if you are not mentally like fit, you can't like run this team. So I and my co-founder, we made sure that we go through I don't know, like different exercises. We do yoga. And so
Online
that like
yoga.
we can so that we can motivate our teammates, rest of the teammates.
Yeah, mental health is a global problem
Yes.
during the pandemic.
Yes.
So, what do we need to do as a leader to motivate our team, and what kind of qualities leader need to have?
Our leaders. So we often have this perception, which is a leader should be very perfect person. We have this model figure of a leader, but we need to understand that like leaders are also human beings, right? So we do go through a lot of mental health struggles, our personal life issues, and all of that. So in order to be a leader, you need to add up all of those human nature of yours. Like it's normal to have it's normal to like get burned out. It's normal to feel tired. It's normal to be sad, So we need to understand that normal human nature in our daily lives to be a leader. And also we think that if you want to be a leader, you have to be very vocal. You have to be a human public person. You need to be super confident in front of a camera. But a leader can be a person who can be very shy person, but he or she or that particular person can have that ability to lead a broader team and motivate a broader team. So I think like it's time that we define leadership in a new way and more adaptive way and more inclusive way.
So we can say leader are not the perfect guy.
No,
or
of course
girl.
not. Nobody is perfect, you know.
Yeah, nobody
Yeah,
is perfect. So can you share us what are the challenges Bangladesh is facing to improve practice and quality of WAS services?
Right now, we do have the infrastructure and government has a lot of budget on wash space, but it's definitely not enough. Even, we recently started talking about hand washing, right? And hygiene and all of that because of COVID. But when we started in 2014, no, like when we go up to different communities, people used to think that it's very lame thing to talk about because washing hands, it's not important to a lot of people. But we recently got to realize that how important is it. So I think in Bangladesh, we do have the infrastructure, we do have sanitation facilities, but it's just that we don't have the awareness around it. We don't talk about it. And a lot of people, they are not aware of how to properly wash your hands, how to, talk about menstrual hygiene issues and all of that. Because people do still use like normal clothes when they're menstruating, they use like normal clothes or like dirty clothes. They don't even know there's this environmental friendly pads exist. So I think talking about it, raising awareness around that topic, it's what we are lacking right now. But if you talk about infrastructure or the improvement that we had over the last few years, it's kind of remarkable, I would say, compared to other countries.
Nepal and Bangladesh is quite similar in the field of WAS or sanitation, and Nepal is doing amazing job in some years for WAS or sanitations. As an activist, what is your suggestion to improve WAS status in Nepal?
In Nepal, when I was coming from my hotel to here, like I saw this small river kind of thing. I'm not sure if it was a river, but it was a water bank. So I saw like it was quite polluted. So I think but young people are super aware. They want to help. They want to clean the environment. They want to reduce the pollution and all of that, and also they want to like install sanitation services for the underprivileged population in Kathmandu and all across Nepal. But I think it's also important for the government to put more investment into this particular space, because oftentimes like we don't really value the real value of sanitation, because we think that it's something that we all do every day, but we don't need to like take care of it. We just need to have a particular space where we do our bathroom business. But it's very important if you talk about the health issues that we are facing. A proper sanitation is the key. Also, a lot of kids, they miss out on their classes, or they can go to their schools regularly because of the health crisis that they're facing because of the having poor sanitation issues. So we do need to realize all of this aspects which comes with the sanitation issues.
Maybe they still lack in some areas, in some groups or communities, and we are working for it.
Yeah.
So at present, you are working in the advisor at Target Gender Equality UN. What
Yes.
is your responsibilities and roles at there?
So I'm these days I'm not that active in the space, but what I used to do is like I used to organize a lot of events under, like when we used to have a general assembly. I used to organize and also design a lot of side events for general assembly. We do have this signature event. It's called Uniting Business Live, where we bring together all the corporate stakeholders from all across the world, and they engage with different discussions, and they talk about gender equality and all of that, and other issues as well. So these are the kind of things that I do. I write also policies. I get involved with some key researches under my organization. So these are the things that I used to do there.
So Bangladesh has made remarkable progress in the last 20 years in the field of girls and women's, but still there is so many high percentage for early child marriage. What do you think, as an activist, who is responsible for that, government or individuals?
You mean for the child
marriage,
okay.
early child marriage?
I would say it's not only one stakeholder who is responsible for this, because we do have regulations, we do have laws against those. Also, like, government is pretty strict about it, but it's just that in the local area, it's not that widely practiced yet. And also, like, lack of awareness, like it's a big issue. It's a big issue there. So people still think that early child marriage is okay. Also, gender-based violence, it's happening, and due to COVID, women are more getting those harassment, because they're like more at home because of the pandemic, because their offices were closed, so they were like getting more harassed because of that. And we are actually working, but it's just that the raising awareness, it's not enough. Like, only Awareness 360 cannot do that broad impact, or only the government can do everything. So in order to do those, like the private sector, the public sector, all the stakeholders should like work together. So I would say the main issue right now is not the budget, not the government, it's just that raising awareness is the main issues, in terms of gender-based violence or early child marriage. But over the last few years, our early child marriage is it's getting like really the number is dropping rapidly. Yeah.
So there are lots of gender issues in your country, in my country, maybe in South Asian countries. So what is your suggestion to the authority or individuals to increase these gender inequalities?
You mean like, can you repeat the question, please?
So what is your suggestion for authority or individuals, for everyone, like authority in your government authority, in my government authority, or for South Asian countries? So what can we do to decrease the number of inequalities of gender?
Inequalities of gender. Okay. So first of all, we do need to realize that women are the half of the population. So these days, it's I would say it's very stupid if someone thinks that you can avoid like half of the population of your country and you can progress, like in some way, because it's just not possible. So we do need to realize that these days, like, since the half of the population are women, so you need to like take them some of the leadership roles in your community. And if we talk about sports, if we talk about media, the corporate space, women are leading in so many ways, and they're good at multitasking, they're good at leadership roles. So yeah, like we do need to realize those values. And also scientifically, like women are very good at multitasking. They're very good at like leading a team. Like my organization, women are the majority of the people there. I personally put them there because I know the values of having women leaders in the team. And right now we are one of the leading organizations in Bangladesh and also in the global south because of the women leadership in there. So if we can do that with the help of women leadership, anyone, any organization can do the same. So and also if we talk about the salaries, the salaries, the gap there, the pay gap and everything, it's just as I said, like it's very stupid. The norms that we have these days, that women should get pay less and guys should like pay, like they should get like more. Yeah, so since like like both of the genders and all the genders, like all of them have the potential to do something in their space. So I think we do have the time right now to realize that, the importance of it.
Yes, I also think the same, like women are more responsible as compared to men, maybe.
Yes.
Because they just get the chance.
Yes.
They need to have to show their talents or potentials. So gender equalities and so many issues, you have been leading so many organizations. So what is your suggestion for new leaders? What they need to do for leading?
For new leaders, I would say when I started it in 2014, I didn't have any platform where young people could come together and work. But these days there are a lot of initiatives in the world. There are a lot of initiative, and they're very resourceful. So in order to be a leader, you don't need to come up with a platform like me to do real change in the world. You can join an existing organization who are doing a lot of work, and you can utilize those resources and make impact in your community. And also we for the millennials, like, we have this mindset. We always plan a lot of things, but we don't execute. We don't even start to do something. So if I would just stay here and just think about doing something, and if I would not start my initiative, I would not have been make 1.1 million people that big impact. So I think in order to do a real change, you need to start at some point. Even if you fail, you should celebrate your failures, because failures is also part of your
learning.
Learning process. So yeah, I would just say don't only just plan, just start creating change.
And also they have to believe in their dreams and
Yes,
their work.
yes, absolutely.
So what is your further plans?
So right now we are actually building these devices under Awareness 360 in Bangladesh. It's a hydroponic farming system. So through this device, we are trying to automate the whole farming system, because we realize that countries like Bangladesh, we don't know the source of our food, right, and source of our nutrition. So we wanted to solve this issue, and we are building this automated system where the whole farming system is automated. So we're building this for the city dwellers in Bangladesh, because we don't get the time to grow our own vegetables or grow our own food. So they can buy these devices and grow their own vegetables, and this is one of the sources where we can generate our profit, and we can use that money to do community service work. And we are providing this device to the Rohingya refugee camps in Bangladesh as well.
Amazing. Best wishes for this.
Thank you so much.
And we have a short question and answer session. And in these sessions, I will ask you questions and you have to answer me in one word.
Yes.
Okay. So, if we have to remove your name and tag, who are you as a person?
I would say I'm an honest guy.
Okay. What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is wow. Okay.
People
I would
want to
say,
know about it.
yeah. I think my biggest fear is if I wake up one day and can't make impact, I guess. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. So, what do you love about yourself the most?
I think the simplicity that I have. I tend to be a very simple guy, and I think I love about this.
Do you think you're
myself.
simple?
Yeah.
Okay. One thing you want to change about the world?
First of all, there shouldn't be any inequality. I think that's the first thing that I would want to change.
What is the most scary thing you did before?
What's the most scary thing I did
Yeah.
before? So a couple of weeks ago, I stayed in the middle of a forest, surrounded by all the wild animals.
Where?
In Kenya. This is one of the scariest things. Yeah.
What is the quote or saying you always have in your mind?
What is the
Saying a quote.
Okay, so there's this very interesting quote. It's actually by my co-founder. It says, "Find your passion, what bothers you."
You can name your co-founder.
Yes, her name is Shomi Hassan Chaudhary. Yeah.
She will be happy. So, what do you think about the people and the life in Nepal or in South Asian country? What they need to do for changing it?
The life here is, I would say, we have a lot of resources, but we need to realize how to utilize those. And the biggest resource that we have is the young people. So we need to know how to utilize this power.
So, what makes you happy?
When I see that for my initiative, people are smiling, people are laughing, and when I see that when we do a certain project and we do follow-up surveys after a couple of months, and they do memorize all the things that we have taught them, it makes me the happiest person in the world, I guess. Yeah.
So, okay. So if anybody wants to connect with you, and how they can connect with you? Anyone from anywhere,
Okay.
if they want to connect.
I think people can add me on Facebook. I'm very active there, and also all the social medias. I'm also on LinkedIn. Also, like if people want to work with us, they can send us text on Facebook on our page, Awareness 360 page. Also, they can email us. Yeah, there are a lot of ways.
Social media especially.
Yes, yeah.
So what is your message to inspire people out there?
My message would be the same as I mentioned before. Like if you have an idea, like life-changing idea in your head, start executing it. Don't like think too much. Just start executing it, even if you fail.
So as an individual, what can we do to change these gender inequalities for the society?
You can start from your home actually. Like when you see your mom only cooking and your father is enjoying it, or like if your sister tries to work outside of your house and that person does not want to only get married and have kids and have dreams, try to help that particular person execute those dreams.
So what people can do for networking if they are very introvert?
Yes, these days there are a lot. As a person, like I used to be very introvert person, but you know, like you need to start at some point. Like if you wanna network, these days it's very simple. Like you can network online. You can you have Facebook, you have Instagram. If you see a person is you know like inspirational, and you see there are avenues to work with that person in order to make bigger bigger impact. You should just approach this person, add that person on LinkedIn or on Facebook, shoot that person a text. Yeah, there are a lot of ways, but also you can go to like different conferences, or you know like go abroad, meet some people, or maybe go outside of your house, talk to the person, the first person that you see on the street. Just try to make a conversation, you know. So this is how you can practice it.
Since we have been working for so many projects, so many organizations, if anybody wants to run successful project or events, what they need to basic things to run projects successfully.
Okay, so in order to do that, I think first of all you need to get involved. Initially, you need to get involved with a few organizations who already exist in your community, because those organizations, they're already resourceful. So once you get into the system, you know like how an organization runs, how they run their own projects and everything, and you are being part of those projects, you would know like how to run your own projects. Also, there are a lot of resources online. Organization like Awareness 360, we run different fellowship programs. So if you sign up to those fellowship programs, we teach like how to do community service work. We teach monitoring and evaluation of your projects and everything. So these are some of the ways that you can start your project.
Okay, nice. So we are at the end. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
We are very happy to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
आज हामीले बङ्गलादेशका सामाजिक अभियन्ता रिजवे आर्फिनसँग कुराकानी गरेका थियौँ। अर्को हप्ता अर्को नयाँ अतिथिका साथमा उपस्थित हुने नै छौँ। तबसम्म हेर्दै गर्नुहोला रेड टेलिभिजन एचडी। नमस्कार।